The motion intent today was to allow the council more time to truly see the impact that moving the public input earlier in the meeting would have on the meeting length. Up until this point, a lot of the comments were focused around the fact that there was only a handful of citizens that even felt that public input needed to change. They didn't feel that there was going to be any difference in the participation. So therefore, due to the two reasons that were provided previously, I didn't see why there was such a desire and push to then also adjust the meeting start time up 30 minutes when in fact they themselves did not believe that the public input change would have any impact. Well, moving it to 6 itself is not my concern. My biggest concern was with the work sessions. I know they mentioned that they're few and far between, but we've had 8 already this year out of 10 to 12 meetings that we've had. And that's a pretty big percentage. I mean, for a little while this year, we had almost 8 out of 9 meetings that had work sessions prior to the meetings. So it is a pretty substantial time need there that goes with those. And the reason why it's a concern is because if the meeting start time moves up to 6, now we're talking 4:30, 4:45 as start times. And in the past, when that was happening, I did have a concern because that was requiring me to leave work a lot earlier than was anticipated. I mean, I know when I came into office, it was expected that there would be a time expectation of me. However, the meeting start times were at 6:30, and at that point, most work sessions were starting at 5. And now we're pushing that even further up into the day. And I did talk to Mike Van Milligan when this started. In about February, he made an adjustment for me. He basically moved the start times to 5:15 to 5:30, and the only impact that had was that as opposed to the council having dinner from 6 to 6:30, that was now front-ended at 4:45 to 5:15 prior to the work session beginning.
I mean, some of the reasons that we've heard from council, really, they just sound like they're, to me, they don't make sense. They ring kind of hollow. It sounds kind of petty, as if it's some type of payback for something that, we're out of line or something. And so now, we have this happen.
I view this as the other half of what we did at the last meeting or 2 meetings ago when we changed the order of the agenda to allow public comment earlier in the meeting. It made sense to me then, and it makes sense to me now, that we would also adjust the meeting time because the sentiment was to move that public comment to the very beginning of the meeting so people could get in and get home. And we didn't do that. We didn't do that, I think, for very good reasons. We put it, I think, at the right spot on the agenda. But moving the meeting time up to 6 o'clock allows people to get in and still get home at a decent hour. The other thing that comes to mind to me is that most of the people that are in this audience most nights are city staff that have already put in a very long day, and a Monday to boot, as have most of us, gone to work all day and are ready for some shoes off time and feet up time, and of course that doesn't happen here. And with my advancing age, of course, I like the idea of getting out of here a half hour earlier. I don't want anybody to be angry about this. I just think it's the right thing to do, and that's why I support it. And I think it goes hand in hand with the other adjustment that we made in the agenda. So I'm going to support this, and I hope nobody's mad about that.